Wow, flying! Oh, this feels nice.
What? Oh, right. Oh, you kind of forget about it after a while.
I always was impressed with this yoga centre. Pete seemed like a chap who went through some tough times, and creating this place really seemed to help him.
Yep, and it's still going strong. They're always busy with folks from the mainland.
Yoga centre run by a robot. How things change. Well, it seems to be working out, though. So, now Pete's a ghost, so how do we find him?
Well, remember that clue I sent you from inside my urn? The tag?
Yeah.
Right, so that was something special to me while I was alive that helped me channel my ghost. A kind of memento. So we need to channel the ghost of Peter Noach. And to do that, we need to find his mementos.
And how are we going to do that?
By looking into the memories of those who loved him best. People with memories of Pete will have little thought bubbles coming out of their heads. Those are a sign you'll be able to dive into that person's memory.
I suppose that's hardly the strangest thing I've heard today.
Oh, Morris, just you wait. Now, to recap. Find people who are close to Peter, view their memories, track down the mementos, and then leave the rest to me.
So people, then memories, then mementos, then Pete. Yeah, think I get the idea. Okay, let's go.
I just got divorced and really wanted to go on a golfing holiday, but my best mate Tammy somehow talked me into doing a yoga retreat instead. Yoga made me feel weird and uncomfortable. After the first day, I'd basically given up. I thought Pete was a bit angry with me. It was hard to tell. Exploring the Lighthouse, I came across Pete's set of clubs. Bingo, I thought. I wondered where I could practice my drive. I took the clubs up to the observation deck and spent all afternoon perfecting my stroke. The sun was shining. It was the best time I'd had all week. Suddenly, I was aware of Pete watching me. My heart sank and I braced myself for a telling off. How wrong I was. Pete cracked a smile and joined in. Every evening for the rest of that week, we were up on that observation deck, driving balls into the sea. Best holiday in years. I even got into yoga by the end.
I guess old Pete had a light side after all.
I wonder how many golf balls are in the sea around this lighthouse. Okay, let's find some...
Pete was hard to read, you know? Strong, silent type. But you could tell he loved his collection of Buddhas. He said they were like fat little soldiers that kept him safe. To be honest, I thought that was a bit odd. But he was a great teacher. Pete was very protective about his collection. Hated people messing with them, even telling off Em when she was dusting them. One day, one of the Buddhas went missing. Pete was distraught. Not much affected him, so it was a shock for everyone to see how upset he was. All of us at the retreat spent the whole afternoon searching, but we never found it. To cheer him up, Em bought Pete a little toy robot. You could tell Pete was delighted.
Ah, what a lovely gesture. She was a good friend, that Em.
Oh, what a nice little fella. I'm glad we found him.
When Pete arrived at the lighthouse, he needed help running it, but refused all offers. Eventually, fearing the possibility of a shipwreck, Trinity House sent me to Shelmerston to help keep things running smoothly. I bought Pete a plant as a welcome present. He introduced himself very quietly, but didn't seem to want to say anything else. He seemed distracted, like gravity was pressing down on him harder than other people. Whenever I would enter a room, Pete would mutter some excuse to leave. I didn't have a single conversation with anyone in months. Eventually, Pete noticed the plant. Then, Pete noticed me. That was the start of what became this plant room. We spent hours in here over the years, sowing seeds and tending our plants together.
Wow. Robots got complicated, didn't they? Yeah, I didn't realize how important Em was to Pete. I suppose everyone needs a friend. Huh, Sparky?
Dogs hate all fruit. I'm not going near this, Morris.
I met Pete for the first time on a yoga retreat in Goa. He was the best yoga teacher, but very reserved. I noticed he had some army tattoos. I wanted to ask about them, but he would never talk about himself. When I got home, I looked him up. I couldn't believe it. He'd been with Special Forces in Helmand and was awarded a medal for bravery. Pete's unit had been in an ambush. He tried to save a colleague whose leg had been blown off, but by the time they'd reached base, it was too late. I booked the retreat again the next year. I thought he was such an interesting bloke. Still waters, you know. And one evening, after class, I followed him down to the beach. I saw him throw something into the water and went to have a look. I went back to Goa the following year, but Pete wasn't teaching and it just wasn't the same. Not as good. Then, a couple of years later, I saw an online ad for his new retreat in a lighthouse. I booked immediately. I took the medal with me. Perhaps he would want it. It was the same Pete Noach, and if anything, he was an even better teacher. One coffee break, when I got him on his own, I brought up Helmand in conversation. I wish I hadn't. It was like a shutter coming down. I kept coming back for the yoga. And over the years I saw Pete mellow. I think the lighthouse was doing him good. He even cracked a joke with the group once in a while. So, that summer, the one before he died, I decided to act. It was the day I was leaving and I showed him his medal. There was a moment of total surprise. I was worried then. But he took it. He turned it over in his hand. The poor guy was lost for words. He gave me a nod of thanks and slipped it into his pocket. I'm glad he got it back.
Oh, Pete. I had no idea.
This is a conspicuous Gallantry.
I was getting ready to lay my egg. But my nest needed that little something extra. I found the perfect thing. The human and that metal beast seemed quite agitated at their loss.
I always hated those blooming things.
Dogs are actually very good at solving these. They're just hard for us to turn.
Okay, that's all of the mementos. Now what do we have to do?
Wow, I'm getting a really strong scent. Well done. I should easily be able to sniff out Peter's spirit now.
All right then. What do you need me to do?
Absolutely nothing. Just let me do my thing.
What in the world?
There's many things in the world you haven't seen, Morris.
Those things,
Yep. Yep. Those are all of Pete's fragments. I just need to round them up.
Go get them. Pete! Oh, wow! It's really you! Well, it's me, Morris. Morris Lupton.
Of course I remember you, Morris. It's lovely to see you. How's death treating you?
Oh, well, you know, it's a bit jarring, but, well, I'm having a nice enough time. But listen, Pete, we've come to ask you something. Do you know about the custodian?
The custodian? The person who communes with the island, yes? I've noticed the volcano looks like it's waking up.
Yes, well, that's the thing. We need a new one.
Oh, me? To be the custodian? Oh, Morris, I'm flattered, but I don't think I'm the one for this job. I spent my whole life and my whole afterlife trying to find peace. And lately, I think I found it. I'm satisfied with how things turned out. I'm finally ready to go into the West. I don't want to stay around any longer.
Well, fair enough.
Would you want to come with me? I would be grateful for the company.
Well, that's kind of you, but I do really need to help find a new custodian.
I understand. Well, best of luck with the search then. I'm sure you'll find someone perfect for it.